and T-Mobile on the same device. So basically we'll be carrying a double phone. That gives us redundancy, which is a big deal for us. And you all have cell phones, you know, we're kind of in a gray area. Yeah, AT&T works great in some areas and others it doesn't. T-Mobile does. So we're hopefully going to be able to get around some of that with actually having two providers on a single device. So it's working well for us.
So where did you move that cost?
Communications under M&O.
You moved it down.
It's absorbed in the communications.
55,200.
Yeah.
Capital request, the $3,650 amount, that's no increase from the previous year. That's for the replacement of 2 antiquated computers and monitors out at the bunker, the Emergency Operations Center. We actually went a phased approach to this through the budget process last year. We were able to replace 2 of those devices, and this will be the second half of that, or 2 devices for this year. The $110,000 request, again, is no increase from the previous year. This is a continuation of what we call our cabin chassis provision for Oklahoma County Fire Rescue Departments. They most often use these for brush bumpers or the off-road wildland firefighting trucks. And we found, as I've explained before, the beds on those trucks, there's basically a water tank, a hose reel, a pump, and some other devices on there. And it's a lot more cost effective to replace those devices onesie twosie as needed as opposed to replacing the entire truck. So they look at the beds as more of a plug and play configuration. We replace the cabin chassis, we can put the same bed back on and just replace the lesser price components. We've been able to get more adequate equipment on the road and been also able to overall reduce costs because of taking that approach to that. A couple of those have also been utilized as light rescue units in fire service. You have heavy rescue and light rescue. Light rescue is typically a 2-person crew, and they go out and make medical calls and some of that. Got greater flexibility, so those have worked very well for us. The $29,000, that's a $1,500 increase from the previous fiscal year for communications equipment, basically radios. If you're involved in the radio business at all, you know that handheld radios and mobile radios are now simply computers. And a lot of the handheld radios we use because of what they call trunk radio systems that completely surround us and that we have to interface with. Some of those radios, particularly if you're multi-band, you can have $4,000 to $6,000 in a single handheld radio. It's crazy. And we're at the mercy of the vendors, just like in IT. Built-in obsolescence, technology changes, all those kinds of things. They keep hammering us on the radio side as well. So this is to upgrade a couple of those, to get rid of a couple of loaner units. We're actually using a couple of radios that don't even belong to us, and I don't personally prefer that for our own internally owned equipment. And we also added an employee last year that you approved, Nick Rutledge, and we're upgrading one of his radios also. The $45,000, that is an increase from the previous fiscal year. It is our desire to construct a storage building for a wide range of materials and supplies. The storage building we're currently using, which is located in a very inconvenient location at the Spencer Jones Tower, is a portable building that we moved in there almost 15 years ago. It is dilapidated, it is broken down, it is not weather tight, it is not secure, and it is not cost effective to maintain. Just picture an old building in your backyard that has been out in the weather for all those years and has taken a beating. And it's just not cost effective to keep that up. So our intent and desire is to build a metal building on a concrete slab, minimal utilities, a couple of drive-through doors just so we can store anything from the PPE, which by the way, I'm running a special on PPE if anybody needs any of that. We got some public education materials, all kinds of things. Currently we have 0 storage in either of our locations, whether it's here or out at the Regional Multi-Agency Coordination Center. We have 0. Everything we've got in storage is in boxes and crates and tubs in our offices. And we need someplace to store some stuff.
Do you intend on putting the storage building in the same location?
No, actually, we talked about that, and from a utility perspective, that would be very simple because if we could drop a single heater in there on the propane system that's there and the electricity is already there. But from a convenience perspective, we're looking more in closer proximity. One of the things we talked about is possibly going through the process of carving out a little corner over at the election board or just whatever to stick a building. Some county owned property somewhere around this. Closer to where we are and closer to operations would be our desire. In overview, with the exception of personnel costs, which as I mentioned, we have not put any COLAs or anything in on this particular request. Emergency Management General Fund for the fiscal year 2022 reflects an overall increase of under $40,000. Any questions?
Anybody have anything? All right. Thanks, David.
Very good. Thank you.
All right, item number 6, review FY 21-22 estimated needs for court services. We will need to screen, I believe, for 2 of these.
Good morning.
Morning. How are you?
Good. All right. First one is general fund, 301. So this one, as you know, this covers our salary and benefits only. No or anything like that. Every year, this typically goes down to the wire. We just get what we need, and with any changes, we kind of check that. When we get closer to the year, you'll see we put down we're going to be short in salary. That was due to retirement and a cash out of vacation time. However, at the same time, there was a couple pay periods where there wasn't that position filled. So this was based on that payroll. So we're just going to watch it really close. I talked to Kelly probably too much, so I'll probably wear her out. So, but we'll watch that super close, and if we need anything, we'll certainly ask. But we're watching that. The only other thing I wanted to mention and make sure you saw is I have requested 3 positions, 2 community care workers and a data analyst. Those positions have been discussed quite some time. The last policy and governance, we talked about that again, and it was approved there for me to add that to our estimate of needs for today. So the community care worker basically, with all the push right now to help these folks that are being incarcerated, getting out of jail, with social services, other services, any type of treatment needs, anything they may need. It's a huge push to help those folks out of recidivism and all sorts of other things so they don't end up back in jail. That's the goal. So these workers would be their function. The goal is those people would talk to pretty much every single person that's released on a pretrial release, see what their needs are, see what they can do to help. They're going to have connections with, anybody and everybody in the community to be able to send those folks to or set them up with whatever they may need. The next one is a data analyst. Also with all the different boards and committees, there's a huge push to analyze data. Data tells you a lot about what's going on. Also with the addition of Jail Tracker and our Connexus Cloud, those are 2 brand new systems that when all the kinks are out and everything's good, it should be able to spit out a whole lot of data to help a whole lot of folks. So with that, a data analyst was also requested. I did reach out to my counterpart in Tulsa, who did say they added a data analyst. I think it was less than a year ago, and she said it was one of the best decisions they've made that has helped them tremendously. So
Is that where you got the 36,000 from?
yeah. So that's what I got on general fund. I can answer any questions on those positions, those extra positions requested if you have any. Next, 126301. This is our special revenue. Again, we don't ask for any money in this. This is money generated through fees. This covers all of our M&O and other expenses that we need. So we don't ask for any money in this. Don't need any money. We'll roll over quite a bit. And based on what we're collecting with what we'll spend, we'll be fine in this one. I don't need any money with this one, so I can answer any questions on that one. And last one, 126302. This is our GPS indigent fund. So this is the one originally, help me Cody, you always know this, 2013, 2014?
7 years ago.
Yeah, we were given a fund with $50,000 to use for indigent folks and work with the courts and put them on GPS when otherwise they wouldn't be able to get out and be in custody and cost the taxpayers dollars. Anyways, it started out off super slow. Now it continues to gain momentum. We were given some more money last year to cover that. So with that money we were given last year, with what we're gonna spend this coming year, we don't need any additional funds unless something out of the ordinary happens and a ton of people are added to that. As it sits right now, we should be fine for the next fiscal year and don't need any extra money. And that concludes my presentation.
So you're looking like you're gonna roll over 30,000?
Yeah.
And you estimate that that's about what the spend is annually?
Yeah, and that's a lot,
It's gonna fluctuate.
yeah, and I gave a little extra buffer, with the, lost and stolen bracelets that happen, that's not something we know exactly how much it's gonna be, so, yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
I already know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, so just, as you go through the fiscal year, track that, and if we, cause we had 50,000 in there, kinda like that, but we can always just watch list that, kinda like what we were doing with Mr. Abbott's furniture. Just
Absolutely.
watch list it so we are paying attention, but, yeah. Alright, any other questions?
Thank you, everybody, thank you.
Thank you.
Alright, item 7, review FY 21-22 estimate of needs for district attorney's office. First one is, well, whatever order they wanna do it in, DA state and DA county. Rod, are you doing this one?
Never heard of them.
That's what you told us last year.
It was true last year.
But you heard about it,
If you need somebody, I'll step out and grab somebody, but I don't even know who it would be, but
Russ is the one that
Yeah, Russ
prepares it,
normally does it.
and he's the one that was invited, but,
has it ever changed?
you know, not much, no.
Statutory, but I don't know.
Everybody take a look and see if you have
There's no.
questions that would necessitate Russ coming. Looks like DA state is flat. As well as DA county. Does anybody need Russ here? Okay. Alright. Thanks, Rob.
You bet. Glad to help.
All right. Item number 8, review FY 21-22 estimate of needs for county clerk, excise board, and county audit.
Don't know anything about it.
Never heard of it? That didn't work for you.
Oh,
Sorry, trying to get it over,
I do have a PDF I'm gonna pull up here, so
maybe.
maybe. Right.
I can do mine while y'all are working on that.
Sure, go for it.
Mine's quick and easy. I'll do excise and
Okay.
county audit while we're doing that. Okay, on, excise first. This year on the excise, usually I try to reduce their budget, you know, cause we always have some we turn back. You know, if we don't use money, we always turn it back. I never know how many meetings we're gonna have. This year, I did not try to reduce their budget because of COVID. We don't know how many meetings they're gonna have. So their budget remained the same as last year's. I also would like to note that there is a bill out there that if it gets approved, it'll be effective November 1st, that raises their salary from 75 to 125. And it also requires a little bit more training and stuff. I think we'll be fine in the training. And depending on how many meetings we have, we may be fine in the budget. You know, cause we always turn some back. If we have a bunch of meetings, I may have to either at supplement time, ask for some more money, or come to Bet and ask to put some on the watch list. We don't know until if that bill gets passed or not.
Yeah, we'll know before September supplement though, so we can always come in.
But otherwise, it's same as last year, same number.
Thanks for the heads up on that bill though.
On audit, of course, audit is 1/10 of a mil. And I always budget what the September budget wound up being. And then we update it, decrease it or add to it come September, whatever we have to do. So as far as the audit budget, it's the same as what it was for what it is right now. And then we'll update come September.
Thank
And
you.
it's statutory, so there's not really anything to do about it. I like when you do it.
Me too. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? All right, Danny?
Yeah, I guess we won't have the visual presentation, so I'll just go over it.
It's coming, just hang with us for a second, he's on his way.
It's pretty exciting.
Come on, pins and needles now,
You're not gonna wanna
man.
miss
You can't. You've built this up.
All right, so our general fund budget, we are requesting 2,847,000.
Pardon?
I'll just skip down to the M and O, we are requesting less in the M and O category and as well in the capital category.
You want me to
Oh, nice, all right.
go? Should I use the pointer?
Yes. Okay, so back to the increases, we are asking for additional funding in our salary account. We have hired 2 new positions in the finance department. These are brand new positions in anticipation of a few of our finance staff that's gonna retire within the next few years. So we brought on 2 new people to start training and to be able to fill those positions once 2 of our people leave. I won't name those 2 people, but
Are they
it's
in
gonna,
this room?
it's gonna happen eventually. It will happen
May or may
eventually,
not
so
be.
we're
May
just,
or may not be, uh-huh.
so we're just preparing for that. So that's really our increase is the salary. Of course, the health and benefits are going up, increase there, and then along with the FICA and 12% that goes along with it. So, up on the screen here, I did show, we have our general fund budget and we have 3 special revenue funds. You combine all those, we've got an estimate of 5.3 million, that's about what it costs to run our office. This is what I want to show you. Yes, thank you. So, our total office, we run about 54% from general fund. Records preservation is our second biggest that we expend out of. And then breaking it down by the categories, 62% and 25% are people, a small amount for travel and capital. And then our revenue that we bring in, for the county general fund, we bring in almost $6 million. And our budget currently is 2.6. So we generate quite a bit for the general fund. And then we have records preservation, we bring in almost $2 million in fees. UCC about 800,000 a year, then lien fee fund about 426,000 a year. So I can go over the special revenue funds if you want. If you have any questions about those or any other questions about the general fund requests.
Denny, on the new positions, the 2 new ones, which I know they were brought on, but you say they were transferred from 1152.
Well,
But they're 2 brand new ones.
We're currently paying them out of Fund
Okay.
1152.
So this year, when you brought them
We are
on.
requesting
Okay.
to fund them out of general.
Okay.
And eventually, as the other 2 retire, those positions will be absorbed, so we won't have the overlap there.
So are you asking for fewer positions though this next year?
We did have to shift some personnel down to our other special revenue funds, so we shifted around a little bit. Yeah, we're going from 23 down to 21.
Okay.
But more of our higher salaried are in the general fund. we pretty much moved everybody that works in the real estate area down to our records preservation fund. So that's, right now we fund everybody who's UCC related out of UCC. We're trying to do the same with record preservation.
Any questions? Alright, item number 9. Discussion possible action to make a recommendation to, I'm not even gonna read the rest of that.
I started to not even put it on there.
No, I think it's good.
Yeah.
What?
Miles, it is, but you never know when you
Oh,
can
you
make the motion just to do a flat budget
Well,
and
I'm
move
sitting
on.
there, if you look at it, we've got, court services and then
Yeah, there wasn't much.
asking for a small increase.
Yeah,
Uh,
and employee benefits.
yeah, I mean, if you were just to do a flat budget, then just include the employee benefits and maybe a couple of tweaks here and there, you probably go over it. But, well, we wanna get further in,
Yeah.
since I've been out for almost 2 weeks now. Actually 2 weeks, yeah.
Alright, no action needed on item number 9.
Yeah, just real quick, we do have the working document up, ready to go. We can send this out
Okay.
to all the budget members here. So this kind of shows where we're at from the request. We're at 101.8 million. And then cash transfer is 11.6. So right now we're at 113.4 million. We don't know the amount available yet. It gets some preliminary numbers from the assessor's office. So once we close out March, we'll be able to come up with the fund balance that possibly have. But like I told Budget Board last month, last year we carried over $8 million from reserve. This year we're at 2.4 million right now. So got a lot less going into our fund balance for next year. So
We also do not have, the only budget or estimate of needs we do not have is criminal justice authority, so that may affect general government.
yeah, that's true.
I suspect
Well, and that's
individual.
the other thing to remember, I don't know how much the sheriff's office rolled over from jail operations last year, but whatever money would roll over will not roll over this year, so.
Right.
It's true.
Well, it won't roll over, but they.
I mean, it won't come back to,
Let you know
it won't
now.
come back to Oklahoma County, so.
And that number that we provided to you, the starting point, is really a decrease from where we finished last year,
Correct, yeah,
based upon our preliminary findings, right?
right.
So, to give you an idea of what we're seeing in related to COVID as we had in the previous meetings. We are seeing some of the impact.
Yeah, just some what we've seen so far. We're gonna have less to build our budget on than we currently do. But good thing is we're requesting less in employee benefits to transfer, and a little bit less in workers' comp. So hopefully those
How much
will help
less?
even it out.
3.2 and
Oh.
270,000.
I would, give you my Cody line about blowing that up.
Can you increase that?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
And that capital projects is pretty big.
Yeah,
Once you
capital
look at
projects
it.
is big, for sure. And that's with 0 in reserve, the orange
Oops.
highlight there.
You see it?
I can.
A little bit.
That's what I figured.
So we'll send this out. If you see anything that doesn't match what you submitted for your estimate needs, let us know.
Anything else related to item number 10? Seeing none. Citizens participation, any citizens here? Kelly, did anybody sign up?
No.
Okay. Board comments, District 3,
No, thank you.
District 2,
Nothing.
Clerk,
Nothing.
Treasurer, Court Clerk,
Okay.
Assessor, Sheriff. District 1 has none. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So,
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Thanks, everyone. Good time.
Bless you.
It's just a 6.
I will, I haven't even finished, I just gave it to Charlotte just now, so. Yeah. Yeah, no, I have your email, yeah.
Oh, and I sent you a,
You don't say.
treasurer's name challenge, I just got a new certificate this morning.
That's, I can do that real fast.